What's up, y'all? I want to talk about females and males and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And the sexual tension. So I just find it weird. I just start thinking, like, because, like, real quick story time, like, it's not even a real big story time. Really, just like saw a female work with, which is usually the case always, right? And like they like attracted to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can tell because I mean, as soon as I get in front of them or show my face or some shit like that, like hold on, get a download. Okay, so as soon as I like show my face and like, what I'm saying, like it's like they start smiling and shit, and it's like really weird because what I'm saying, like I'll be like you know what I mean? It don't even be like this situation. They be smiling hard, like they be smiling like they just met a long lost friend or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a brother or sister haven't seen in like a long ass time or something like that. And it's like okay, like you know what I mean? And like most of the times it just caught me off guard because I'm not. It is where it catches me off guard because usually I actually don't like. I'm not trying to like talk to you like that, and it's like quite the opposite. Like I'd be at the DPS office trying to work out these paperwork and make sure I got all my stuff. You know what I'm saying that I need or something like that, and then they doing that to me. Or I go to like the hospital. I'm trying to. I feel sick and I'm trying to get a checkup and I'm really like really there because I don't really mess with people or mess with Babylon like that. You know what I'm saying? On a level where it's like I'm just there. You know what I'm trying to say? Like oh, like I don't know, like I got a rash or something, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Babylon doctors or something like that, just to like, you know, sit there and be like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like I'm gonna look it up. So we have the internet nowadays, so I'm gonna look it up, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do some home remedies. See if I can buy some over the counter medicines or something like that. I ain't really the one. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You go to it's like you go out in Babylon and it's just like people just like usually females, you know what I'm saying? Females are just like in my face about it. You know what I'm saying? You just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you like, why? It'd just be weird, man. Cause it's like, okay, I can understand maybe like a cashier. You know what I'm saying? Like, something simple, but it's never simple. It's like, I need you to like focus on what we're doing right now, Cause I actually need your help. But anyway, long story short. So like, yeah, it's like so after that happens, it's like they start smiling at you and not, and then like usually for me, like once I start opening my mouth and I start talking, I don't know because I've been told that I sound white or whatever. Like I don't know, like usually black folk or just people in general, they look at me like, oh, he's like I don't know from like the suburbs or something, which I'm not, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just different, but whatever. So like, I ain't finna make excuses. I listen to rock music and stuff, but it's not like I don't mean nothing, bro. Like whatever. So anyway, so you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, they just be like peeping game that I don't know, talk hood or whatever. So I'm like, alright. So they kind of like get taken back by it. They're like, oh, he ain't like what I wanted him to be. And that's what I don't like because like they see my appearance and then like they think I'm some type of guy or some type of person. I don't know, it's weird. And then they be like, oh, he ain't that type of person. So then they're like, be like, oh, he's not what I wanted, or he's not hitting on me, or something like that. Oh well, you know what I mean? And you be thinking like, mm, quite selfish of you, don't you think? Like you know what I mean? It's kind of like I know it sounds really weird, but I was watching this anime called Ouran Host Club, Ouran High School Host Club. It's an old anime. I watched it way back in the day, but it ain't that old. You know what I'm saying? But but still, it was like it's one scene where this like female rapper's girl like basically goes to the host club. There's a whole bunch of guys in it, and like she's just kind of like I don't know, projecting her feelings and you know what I'm saying onto them, which is giving her like a false perception of them. It's not even their real personality. Just based off of how they look, she thinks they're this type of person, and she's like projecting that onto them. So where like she's saying, no, you're not this character, you're this character. So then, like, basically, this at the end of this episode, this dude that was being nice to her that she kind of like was, in love with, I guess, infatuated with, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically acting mean to her and was like, okay, stop playing around. Like, yeah, I was cool with you, doing it because I was just like, it's whatever, it's not a big deal. But now it's like, stop. And then she was just like, why are you being so mean to me? Why? And like another character was like, oh, like that's not really his. That's not. He's not a nice person. Like that's not how he acts. Like I mean, he's kind of stern, So it's like you gotta get to know people little by little. You know what I'm saying? It's more fun that way. That's what she said specifically. But the point being here is like people don't like do that, which is honestly you could say well, it's not the real world or whatever. But like that's just weird because it's like that's like reality though. Like you literally don't know, and that's why they said you think in your mind like, well, that's why you're disappointed because I'm not who you think I am. I mean, it's not even that hard to just talk to somebody. All you have to do is just talk to somebody. So that I don't know. That's just me personally. Um, but at the same time, you find out that a lot of these people that do that have the mentality. See, here's the thing about that. So, a lot of people that have that mentality, if they don't really like talk to people to get to know them, they usually are like superficial. They and not in the same way they're just like they're airheaded, but it's kind of like they're basically like they're basic. They're plain. You know exactly what they're gonna do. Especially if you live in Babylon, the world, like what the world expects of adults and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So you're just kind of like, oh, okay, like this is what they're about. This is what they like. You know what I mean? Because it's not that like I'm just saying, like you could just tell, like some people because they just and it's funny because people think they could put that on you, like, okay, you're a black guy, you got dreadlocks or whatever, or you think you must be a Rastafarian or something like that, and it's like they don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know like what your specific beliefs on something is or whatever, and how you see things and whatnot. They don't like really know what they're talking about, and that's the funny thing too. They don't even know what to talk about really, And it's like I don't know. I just find it funny because like they be so like white bread, so plain. It's like okay, sure, like whatever, man. And so you just see at the end of the day that it's really just simple minded, and since it has nothing to do with real like spirituality, real intellect, real authority within this planet Earth, you just realize that like, hey, like, no offense, but you just kind of immature. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk, you kind of just like you immature. Like I'm not trying to be mean or nothing like that, but I mean you really ain't acting like a grown human being. You just acting like a child. Like what? It's a childlike thing. To be like acting cliche and whatnot. I mean, kids can sit there and just act cliche. They can act like everybody else acts it, but to actually own it and understand why you're doing it and live in it and have a personal perspective on it is a totally different thing. Like, so, anyways, though, I know it's a long story, but back to what I'm trying to say here is just like just come to find that like it's like females do that a lot to me, and it's like I don't know. I started thinking about polygamy. I was thinking about like and I see why females, what I'm saying, they find like sexual, situations like kind of nasty. Because I was thinking about how like, for men it's kind of like we just rubbing, you know what I'm saying? So we're rubbing our thing down there, and it's like it's pretty much like kind of like think about it like a sore. Like you got hit with something really hard, and you have like a bruise, and like it makes a certain part of your body like black or whatever and kind of bruised up. It's like dealing with something like that or a broken bone or something. You don't see nothing really, you know, protruding outwards or something like that. It's kind of like what I'm saying. It's on the outside of the body. It's closed up. But then think about it like a female in this situation in a sexual situation. It's like an open wound. It's like somebody shot a bullet wound or something, or like somebody I don't know, stabbed you with a sword somewhere or something in your leg or something. It's like blood everywhere, and it's like it gets messy and it's nasty. So that's why I can see why females, in a sense, like they don't want to be like, it makes them basically want to look for love more than just like men. Because men are not gonna think of it in a sense where like is serious, if that makes sense, they're not really like, they're not, nothing's going inside of their body, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why it's like, they ain't really like thinking about it like that, you know? It's almost kind of like scratching the itch versus like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. Like, but it's like scratching the itch for a guy. It's not like, you know, wiping up something or like cleaning up something. Like, that's when it's like bodily fluids and all that stuff. That's kind of gross. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's kind of like, ugh, you know? So, but that just brings me to the thing because it's like, see, that's why I feel like women should really be polygamous in the sense of like, one man, multiple wives. I mean, I've been believing this. It's not even a belief, really. I know. I know it's true. You can say what you want to say, but it is what it is. It's really just because it's like, you look at it, it's just like, hey, like, y'all want to fall in love. You know what I'm saying? Men don't look at it like that. So it's like, it makes you want to, like, be with, like, one person already. Men don't want to be with one person. So that just adds on to it. Then it's like, you're looking at it and it's just like, I mean, like I said, like, it's like you want to, like, fall in love or whatnot. And, I forgot what I was about to say exactly, but I do remember a scene from the show Vikings, season 6, when Beyond, like, pretty much got a second wife. And I forgot what happened exactly, but somebody asked her second wife, like, aren't you jealous of his first wife? And she was like, or don't you want, like, his original wife, his first wife, to, like, die or something so you could take the place or whatever? And, like, she was like, no, why would I want to kill her or something like that? She you know what I'm saying? Like, she's in love with the man I love or something like that. So she was down for, like, she was down for Beyond because Beyond loved her, you know what I'm saying? She was okay with that. Like, and that's all I was saying is, like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? That's really how it should be like. Like, these women be catting around, that's what it brings me. They be catting around on some, like, ownership type thing, but then it's like, see, it's easier for women to do that because they're using that love that they're supposed to have, that unconditional love or whatever you want to call it, or that wet sense of, they're not thinking out of it. Like I said, it's not love. It's in a sense of like they just kind of like are not so. They're not here to like sit here and procreate like a man can procreate. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of like having multiple partners and getting them all pregnant at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Around the same time, like they can't do that. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, so her trying to like basically like tie you down and some like you can't have any more wives. It's kind of like she can do that in a level where it's like construding, because if a man did that to you, it wouldn't be that construding. But if you do it to a man, it's like, what are you doing? You like really tie me down. So it's like on that level. And then on the second level, it's like, even that's what I was trying to talk about, the sexual tension. It's like you could be looking like women are attracted to men conceptually, and men are more conceptually than physically, than vice versa. So that brings me back to the point that this is the reason why they be like superficial and be judging people, like, because they be like sitting here like they be wondering like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they see a certain guy, and all these preconceived notions start to come up. Because I'm saying, this was society, like, tells them, we don't know, women are a little childish, you know what I'm saying? It helps them connect to the children. That's why they bear the children. But anyways, and nurse the children for at least a year or more, maybe, But anyway, so it's like, you look at it and you're like, you shouldn't really be, like, so keen on, like, physical appearance as a female. Because, like, I'm not saying you can't be. What I'm saying basically, I'm basically saying it's just like, I'm just finding out that it's like, it's ridiculous because, like, what I'm saying, you really have a concept of it. So basically all I'm saying is basically like, like for example, Vikings season 6, Beyond and his 2 wives. His second wife, it's like, he's a good man. In the show, if you watch the show, like, he's a really good man. Like, he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's an honorable dude, you know. Like, he's not like too ambitious to where he's just, you know, he's very honorable. I mean, because he can be, honestly, because you know he's the son of a king, but it's like he's very honorable. So you ain't really gotta like worry about him like overruling his power, being a bad husband, all that, cause bad father and all that stuff. So he's a good man. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like that's pretty much what you're gonna have to be in a like a relationship with. Like, but you get with these like quote unquote bad boys or whatever like that. Like, they're just some mama's boys. They're just some boys. That's what they call bad boys. They're boys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're not really like gonna do you right or not. But you gonna get with the bad boys because you know you were taught to have sex appeal with the bad boy conceptually as a female, and so that's the reason why you be sitting there going with them. And that's not really like the way you're supposed to be like really doing that, you know. When I look at it, because you're supposed to get to know the guy, so you can like perceive okay whether or not. But just take it slow. You ain't got to do anything serious. Just take it slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna leave it at that right now. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back with another one, but I'm gonna leave it at that. All right.